Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for watching. Now, what I have right here with me is the Phanteks Shift X case, and from its physical appearance, it does actually seem a little bit peculiar compared to other cases out there. Today, it's similar to the Corsair Air 740 as well. It's a little bit different, but it has a bit of its acquired taste. But then again, in my opinion, that's how actually brands out there today distinguishes itself from any other common designs or cases or any other peripherals per se. So right here today, let's take a look at the Phanteks Shift X case right after this, man. Let's do it. Now, a quick look at the dimensions of the Shift X. You get 650mm in height, 274mm in depth, and 170mm in width, which doesn't exactly make the Shift X a small case. Now, given the fact that the Shift X is an ITX case, compared to other cases, this one definitely seems to stand out, particularly from a size perspective. Now, you also get a really nice pre-packed screw box where you can obviously reuse them for keeping all your screws in check, but the Shift X also claims to be water cooling ready, hence the reason why the pump bracket is being thrown in as a bundle. Now, the whole look and feel of the case does seem pretty consistent with the Evolve series, with all Phanteks branding right at the bottom of the case, and on the corner of the front panel, you also get two USB 3 ports, which is pretty standard. Now, you get a really nice premium looking tempered glass with a slight tint, and I've always been a fan of glasses that are slightly tinted, which sort of hides any tiny cable messes you have inside. Now, the case does come with two 140mm fans, generally one for the bottom intake and one for the exhaust. Now, moving to the front of the case, you get to fit up to 280mm of radiator, but if you were to do so, you can't actually fit any 3.5-inch drives anymore, as it would actually occupy the entire section. Now, there are some pre-fitted Velcro straps as well for some cable management work if you require. So if you are by any chance a water cooling enthusiast, a water-cooled build would definitely be some good fun. But I would think that you actually may need to get a little bit more creative. Now, the Shift X fits up to 280mm of radiator in front and 120mm of radiator at the bottom. Now, moving on to the rear of the case, you get two SSD slots, so I would think for an ITX case, the Shift X does provide decent amount of drive spaces. Now, on the right side, the case automatically displays your hardware, and removing the tempered glass may be a little bit tricky for first time users. But this is just to make sure that when you unscrew the top thumb screws, the tempered glass doesn't just fall off, which obviously is a safety feature. Now, the same thing pretty much applies to the left side of the case, which is also where you fit in your graphics card vertically. Now, what I really like about the power button is the fact that it's really nice and subtle at the top, with a nice elongated LED right in the middle of the top panel. And of course, Phanteks made sure that for extra ventilation, the side panels also have little intakes with dust filters, which sort of provides your entire build with some additional cooling. Now, you see, compared to other cases, the Shift X is rather unique because the I/O panel sits at the top facing upwards, which also means either you hate it or you love it. Now, the Shift X pretty much fits a mini ITX motherboard, and in this build, I'm actually using the ASRock X370 mini ITX motherboard, which is surprisingly packed with decent features. For this review, I will be using the NZXT X42, which makes the entire build much simpler and straight to the point. Basically, it's just a 140mm AIO, so it's pretty much easy to assemble. And of course, to further add on, I would strongly recommend that you use a fully modular small form factor power supply unit with either extenders or custom sleeve, because I actually had some troubles trying to fit in the 24-pin onto the motherboard due to the length of the stock cables. Now, in this video, I'm actually using the Silverstone 600-watt fully modular power supply unit. Now, installing the motherboard, CPU, and RAM is fairly straightforward, but it starts to get a little bit tricky when you're about to install your GPU. Now, if you're not using a water block, things do get a little simpler as you don't have to factor in fittings and tubings. Now, for reference purposes, I'm actually using the Zotac 1060 6GB mini GPU. And of course, Phanteks confirms that the Shift X will be able to accommodate up to 520mm in length. Now, the case itself sort of aims to provide you with, I would say, maximum cable management work, but it gets a little bit tricky once you have everything in place. A nice little cable management spot right below the motherboard was definitely a good idea, but I was sort of expecting a little bit more from Phanteks in terms of having a bit more shrouding around the cases so you can actually hide all your cables, so things would actually look much neater. I would actually recommend, if you were to actually get this case, you pre-plug all your USB devices right at the top of the I/O panel and route all your cables through the little pass-through at the top section of the case. Now, this would actually definitely tidy things up a fair bit. Now, Phanteks also included a set of rubber feet which I believe is not reusable upon being stuck onto, but I guess it's really not much of a big deal. But it also brings me to the cool factor of the case, which is simply the fact that it sort of blends in well if you're keen to set up a HTPC or a Steam controller based PC in the living room. I never actually had the chance to set up a HTPC before, but this is definitely a first time. So in summary, I feel that the Shift X isn't really a case for everyone, simply because of its peculiar form factor, but this isn't really a bad thing either. Now I know tons of cases that rarely appeal to the masses, but still have its place in the PC enthusiast scene. So the case is actually priced at 749 ringgit, and you can purchase them at either eTech PC, Dosatech PC. I'm going to leave some links in the description section below as well for you to check out their stores. And of course, a big shout out to Phanteks Malaysia for sending out this little case for me to review, and of course Dosatech and eTech PC, man. Thank you so much guys for helping me out, and of course, if you have not hit the subscribe button, do it right now, and give me a big thumbs up if you like this video, share this video if you want to, and man, as usual guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.